Hello, today I'm sharing what I've channeled around Michael Jackson per requests, and I did channel this a week or two ago, and I've been reluctant to share it. I have shared one video on here that I got a lot of angry people making comments, and I took it down. And it was what I channeled around the missing kids of Maui. And turns out what I channeled was actually true. I channeled that there were children taken away. Some of them are underground. Some of them were taken away on boats, and they were being held in some type of dark warehouse off the coast of an island. And 15 children were found in a warehouse off the coast of Honolulu, I found later. So I took the video down because when I posted it, I got a lot of angry comments, and I'm not used to, it was very, very jolting. So I'm posting this reluctantly a little bit because of that experience, but my guides have asked me to do it. So this is what I shared, or this is what I channeled on Michael Jackson. So what my guides showed me is that Michael Jackson was a kind man, and Michael Jackson, I don't see anything where he harmed children in any way. He actually wanted to help. And what they said is that he created like Neverland, I think is what it's called. Most of what he did in his personal life was to help people. He wanted to help people because of his own experience. And he understood that, that there was a lot of abuse happening in Hollywood. He knew that it was a facade. He knew truth. And he knew what was really going on. And so he wanted to help. And there were a lot of children, they're saying mostly boys, who he spent time with, and he learned from them. It was how they're showing this to me. It's like through just nonchalant conversations, these sometimes oblivious children would share things that had happened to them in Hollywood. They shared things that were said and done to them, not really knowing the extent of how wrong it is, and he wanted to help. So for one, he created this place for people to come and feel like a child again. And they said that he did that because he didn't really have a childhood and he wanted to give back. And through this, he learned from children in Hollywood what was happening to them, or things that, like I said, that were being seen or that they were experiencing. And what they showed me is that I'm kind of resisting sharing it. That he was trying to share truth, and this triggers you, take what resonates, leave the rest. If it triggers you, just close the video and keep scrolling. But this is what they showed me, is that his doctor was approached by people above him, people who are in charge of Hollywood, as a tool to manipulate the masses. His doctor was approached and asked to do nefarious things, to basically silence Michael. And the doctor, I don't know his name, had become close to Michael. And it looks like he potentially was approached originally to, I don't know, maybe, it looks like maybe spy on him. But he had gained respect and love for him. And so these people that are in charge of Hollywood, they offered him to take the fall, to be part of silencing Michael. And in exchange for taking the fall, he would serve very little time, and he would, it looks like there were some threats made, but also he would be rewarded in some way if he did this. And this is the part that I don't fully understand, but it looks like he ended up sharing with Michael what was happening, and he helped Michael. He helped Michael escape his, they're saying, supposed doom. And there was a lot of, they use the term smoke and mirrors sometimes. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors to create this illusion. And the doctor had ultimately good intentions for Michael, even though he was approached and threatened and offered reward to silence Michael. So I'm going to stop with that and end there. Hopefully this helps. I don't know why they want me to share this. Hopefully this helps with some people, but you have to understand what they're saying right now. You have to understand again, they've been sharing this a lot in these videos, that what you see on the news and TV and in Hollywood is not real. Hollywood in itself is completely fabricated. It's totally made up. People who rise to fame and fortune, the richest and the most famous, they're saying for the most part, they're like 99% are in contracts to do certain things in exchange for fame and fortune. They're not better than anyone else. They're not smarter. They're not more talented. There are certain ingredients that these people above Hollywood look for in identifying people to rise to fame and fortune. One of them is, are you manipulated? Can you be influenced? And are you able to influence others? And over time, they have tightened the control of the verbiage in these contracts to truly take over people's lives. So we're seeing more recently, they're saying right now, we're seeing more recently more obvious changes in people when they rise to fame and fortune. 30 years ago, you didn't see it as blatant. They're saying, for instance, Billie Eilish is one. I'm not really up to date with anyone current, but they're saying that people, newer Hollywood stars and musicians, their contracts are much more tightened, and you'll see quicker the change when they start raising to fame and fortune versus 20, 30, 40 years ago, because the contracts were different. They were looser, but they've learned over time. But they're saying as the contracts get tighter, and it's coincidentally, not coincidentally, people are waking up around the globe to this illusion, Hollywood being part of it, but this illusion that we don't have control of our lives, that we're supposed to go to work, we're supposed to work this 9 to 5, and then maybe when we retire, we'll have some money. You know, we had to participate in these systems. Banking system, they tell me a lot that the 4 main pillars that are collapsing are banking and finance, political structures, Western medicine, and the most corrupt, they say, is education. As people are waking up to, these are no longer serving me. Wait a minute, something is off. It's happening in Hollywood too, and people are starting to wake up. So they know people are waking up, including in Hollywood, and people want to come forward and share truth. So they've made the contracts more tight, and they use verbiage like this is not the exact verbiage, but they use verbiage around like. Your likeness can be used whenever we want to. Well, what does that mean? Your likeness? So there's verbiage in the contracts now that really give them more full reign on these people's lives, and you'll see that it's different. The people now that are rising to fame and fortune are drastically changed versus 20, 30 years ago. And I channeled more about this, about Britney, Justin Timberlake, and others on my channel where their contracts were different 20, 30 years ago. And so we're not seeing the same shifts with them. And some of these people are waking up and not wanting to go about this anymore, but they think that they're alone and they're awakening, and they're threatened, and they're told that no one else feels the same way. And so they stay silent, which is coincidentally, my guides are saying, what happens in corporations. I used to work for Fortune 100 Bank. I was a multi-level executive, recruited for all the roles I held. I was top performing in every role. And they, when things got really corrupt and I started resisting and saying, I'm not going to do what you're asking me to do. They started telling me I'm the only one that feels this way. I eventually created a blog to expose the corruption at this company, and found out from hundreds of people writing to me that they were feeling the same way. So this is a page in the playbook that starts at the top of, when you start waking up and feeling, when you start waking up and having your own voice, so you start waking up and resisting the matrix, these illusion that's being forced down our throat. They panic. And they start threatening you. They tell you you're alone. So people in Hollywood are experiencing this. And I'm here to say, for anyone who might stumble upon this in Hollywood, you're not alone. I've channeled many celebrities who want to speak up, but they feel they're alone. It's time to start putting your intention out there to say, I want to be connected with people so that the masses can come together and start standing up and resisting and speaking truth. So all of us can also continue waking up. That's all the time I have. Drop your comments and questions below. I'd be really interested to hear what you think about this. And I have to say that even though everything I share is completely 100% channeled from the Akashic Records, my team of cosmic beings that are here to help us and support us in our human journey, as well as the Consciousness Grid, I have to say this is for fun and entertainment. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.